Today we're talking about off-grid living in Klamath County. Let's get into it. There's a very popular channel that apparently a bunch of y'all interested in off-grid living tuned into, and he has done a lengthy video about why Klamath County should not be on your list. And so first of all, let's talk about his reasons that Klamath County should not be on your list. One, the price of land in Klamath County, and he cites that it's $10,000 an acre. I don't know where he's looking that it's $10,000 an acre, especially when you get out. We've talked a few times about out. When you get out, you can buy 10 acres for $10,000. I don't know where he's, whatever. And the other reason he cites is weather, and we do have 4 seasons. We do have winter. Last year at this time, we had some below zero temps at night, and it does get cold here. And the third reason he cites is that you just can't pull up in your RV and live out of it, and that's absolutely true. And so when I tell people that, yeah, that those are factors, well, where can I move in Oregon where I can do whatever I want and be off-grid? And for what it's worth, off-grid means different things to different people. Some people just want to buy a piece of land and live on it and build whatever they want to build and live however they want to live. They don't want to get permits. They don't want to follow building codes. They don't want to do anything. To them, that's off-grid. For some other folks that call me, off-grid means basically they're living without electricity. They get solar, they use wind, they use whatever alternative systems that they can. They just don't have electricity. So when you're talking about off-grid, the definition of off-grid can be kind of loosey-goosey, where some people just want to buy a piece of land and be able to do whatever they want. And he's absolutely right about the government restrictions, and you're probably going to get a visit from code enforcement. And this is why it's too easy to enforce now. Back 20 years ago, you probably could get away with buying a piece of land and living however you want to live and build a house and dig an illegal well and all that thing. You probably could. But now with drones and apps like Onyx, it's way too easy. And when there was one code enforcement officer for the entire county, Klamath County is 6,000 square miles. What do you think the chances are him out wandering around and running into somebody that's living on their house and build a house without permits? And sometimes this is a complaint-driven system, that if you have a neighbor that sees that there's something going up over there, they might make a call and say, hey, there's some person is building a house over here, a mile down the road from mine. I don't think they've got any permits. Someone's going to pay you a visit. That's absolutely correct. And so when you ask me where in Oregon can I go, where I can just pull up on my land with my RV and live out of it, I don't think there's a county, at least not one that I know of, that does not have some sort of camping restrictions enacted, because it became a huge problem. People were pulling up in their RVs and putting up pallet fences and trashing the land. Often it wasn't even land that they owned, because there was an out-of-town owner that had no idea that there was someone camping on their land. Or if it was their land, they'd live on it until they trashed it sufficiently, and then they just pack up and move somewhere else. And so I think every county in Oregon has some sort of camping restrictions for that reason. And so if you want to live off-grid, where Klamath Falls is very solar friendly. You should see some of the solar projects going on in Klamath Falls. They're building a huge solar array up by 97 and 138 starting this year. Klamath is very solar friendly, 300 days of sunshine a year. If you want to be off-grid, meaning no electricity, Klamath County is probably something you do want to look at, because our land prices are not ridiculous. I don't know where that came from, but whatever. And we do have weather. If you don't want to drive in snow, nope, you don't want to look at Klamath County. But we are very solar friendly. But if your idea of off-grid living means that no one knows you're out there, you're not going to pull permits, you're going to dig an illegal well, you're not going to follow the building codes for the minimum sizes and stuff like that, probably not Klamath County, because it's just, like I said, it's just way too easy for them to check and enforce it now. Thanks for joining me.